I thought I'd show this really quick. What I've been doing, it's mid-January. We are logging, you can see a couple of logs up there. Mid-January, it's the first part of January. Happy New Year, 2019. I was slipping and sliding as I was plowing the driveway, so I went ahead and put chains on. And I didn't film that process. It was a bitch. This back chain right here is about 100 pounds. And trying to toss it over this tire right here, there's not a lot of space in there to get your hands in there. That's a nightmare. So, very heavy, but I got them on, and now I stick like glue. TireChains.com is where I got them from. It's about $1,500 shipped for 4 chains. And so, what I'm doing today, we didn't get a lot of snow. In fact, I haven't had to plow the driveway in quite a while. Usually by this time of year we have about 2 feet, 3 feet of snow on the ground, and this year it's just been so dry. But I've been playing musical trailers. There's the boat. Because of the logging that's been going on. But something else I want to show you is a new toy that we got because of the logging. I got the utility trailer here in the front yard. I got one of these landscape rakes. This is a Harvest King 7-foot wide landscaping rake to clean up some of the brush that is out in the forest, because I don't know if you can see that too well. There are a lot of brush and stuff up there. They're skidding, and I'll put a video in at the end of this. They're skidding some trees out, and they're doing it whole, so it's leaving limbs and brush and stuff in its path. So, but I'm just playing around with the trailers right now, just keeping them out of the way, and I'm about ready to move them back. But before I do that, I fixed an issue, or I'm fixing an issue with the vents that I had. You can see right here, I already popped one out, and I'm about to pop out that guy, and I'm going to swap them. So you can see, let me angle it back this way. See, this guy, he angles towards you like that, towards the center of the tractor, and not towards the glass over here. So I learned that if we just take a screwdriver in here and pop these out, we can just swap them, put that one over here, and then it'll blow onto the glass and take the one that was over here and put it over here. It makes sense. So that's what we're dealing with. So it goes up in there like so. So you just pop those little tabs with a little screwdriver. Is my little screwdriver right there, and just pop them out. So while the tractor's sitting there warming up to move the trailers around, this is what I'm doing. So let me get this done. I'll be back with you. That literally took seconds. Now this one here can be angled that way, back toward me or towards the front glass. I'll probably keep it just like that so it'll blow on that glass. This one angles towards that glass now. Moves. You can see I kind of scarred things up a little bit trying to get them out, but it's a tractor, you know. So alright, well, I'm gonna go spin around and hook up to the boat behind me and go put it in a better spot. Slowly going in reverse, hauling the trailer along. I don't want to go too fast because I got an extension on that hitch receiver, and it's really bouncy with a heavier trailer on it. And wearing chains, it's really bouncy even more. That's kind of mosey along. No real big rush. So while I was in the tractor, I wanted to come down the driveway a little ways and show you this. This is the mud pit where they're loading out all the logs. So in the video that I'll show after this, that's a skidder right there that they're hauling the logs to this spot, getting all the limbs off, getting them stacked up, and the truck comes in here and gets stuck. Usually, like I say, this time of year, it's about, you know, below zero. The ground's nice and frozen, and we got a lot of snow. Well, the snow doesn't bother them, the mud does. So they have stopped logging for a while until they can get it back in here. And this is just a soupy, nasty mess. I would actually take the tractor through it, but I don't want it to get all muddy and gross, or potentially stuck. That skidder there, that'd be hard to get that thing stuck. So, but anyway, I got to take that thing off, put the bucket back on, and go park this thing. I wanted to talk a little bit more about these chains, and how they were installed and the best way to do it. I thought about actually taking one off and putting it back on and filming it so you could see how it's done. This one here is not exactly centered. You can see that this one side of the springs are a little bit out of adjustment, and that's why I didn't actually take them off and redo it, is because they are such a pain in the ass to put on and off. And there are some other YouTube channels out there, and the instruction video on tirechain.com talk about using like a block like this. And the idea is you throw the chain over the top of the tire, and you put this up against the tire. You stuff all the chain in this slot right here, and then you drive up on it, and it puts the chain under the tire. And you know, I did that, and it took about 3 hours to get one of these chains on the back end here, and we couldn't even get it tight. So at that point, my father-in-law, he was done, and so I called my neighbor, and he came over to give me a hand. And I should have called him first because he has a little bit of experience doing it. And what we ended up doing is rotating the tire to the valve stem is at the top, because these are filled with beet juice. There's 55 gallons of beet juice inside that tire apparently. And jacking it up, letting all the air out of the tire by pulling the valve stem core to get the tire down really small. Throw the chains on top there and get them all adjusted, get them into the spots you want them. Hook up the inside first, then do this portion here, then put the chain tensioners on. If you don't do it in that order, you're in for a world of hurt. Jacking it up allows you to spin that tire and get the chains underneath the tire a lot more easily than driving up on a stupid block. And they sell these blocks just for that, for putting tires on a truck or a tractor, and they're kind of expensive. So I made one out of this, and it's gonna go in the fire pit as soon as I pull those screws out, because that's just crap to do it. The front is pretty easy, a lot lighter, a lot easier to get in there, and you use the bucket just to lift the front axle up off the ground, and a much easier to install. It has this, it's a different kind of a system to tension the chains around the tire, and it's much easier, got a lot more leverage, no special tools or anything required. Where the back end here, you need to get some sort of wrench and stuff in here to turn this buckle and then lock it in place with this lock ring right here. Like I said, there's lots of videos out there on YouTube, but I found that doing it the way that my neighbor showed me is much more effective. I did this last tire here in about 10 minutes, so versus 3 hours. So there's that.